Hey, good morning to you, everyone, and welcome into Let's Talk Antiques. Dave, you brought a guest in this morning.
Yeah.
All right. And who did you bring?
I brought Doc Mishler with me.
Okay.
And he's a member of the Long Rider
Yeah, it's a
Guild.
Long Riders Guild. They authenticate who's ridden 1,000 miles or more continuously without a horse trailer on horseback. Colin and Bosch O'Reilly run the Long Riders Guild, and if you're interested in seeing who's ridden across the country or in the world, go to the Long Riders Guild. Just type it in on Google, Long Riders Guild, and I'm just one of them guys.
Well, here's the interesting thing. I met him. We was trying to figure it out. Probably about 10 days ago, he was up to the restaurant riding through. So I go up there and meet him. We're talking about a gentleman that sold everything he had, and what he didn't sell, he give away, and he's got a commitment to feed the hungry children. But anyway, so I stop up and visit with him at the restaurant. He was on his way through, and so I didn't hear nothing about him until a few days later. I hear he's had a heart attack down at Murfreesboro. So he been in the hospital. And when did we go get you? Was it Monday?
Yeah, it was Monday that you picked me up there, and we gathered all my stuff and the horses, and been resting up at your place there in the rain.
Yeah. So now his horses are. Alan Howard was kind enough to let him keep the horses out behind the house so he could see his horses, and he's staying with us, and so Nancy says she's gonna fatten him up and the horses before he leaves. So
yeah, I didn't know that I was so deprived until I started eating Nancy's cooking.
Pretty good stuff.
I thought it was pretty good in the hospital. They were very nice to me in the hospital, by the way, and. In actuality, David's overdoing it here. All he did was rescue a saddle bum. By the grace of God, I've ridden from the Pacific to Atlantic, and from the Atlantic to the Pacific on horseback, and many points in between. I just thankful I can do it, David. Lucky I've become the man, the little boy I was, always wanted me to be, just riding across the country. I can remember when I was a little boy, my daddy would say to me, eat your peas, eat your broccoli. There's children starving in the world. I didn't know what that had to do about feeding hungry children, but I did what my daddy told me to do, and then I run outside and played cowboys and Indians, rode my horses across the country. Here I am many years later. I've become the man, the little boy I was, always wanted me to be. Thank God I can do it.
What made you want to do this?
It's an evolution of things. I think really, as I say, I've become the man, the little boy I was, always wanted me to be, and riding across the country. So it's a dream come true. But what made it possible? I was diagnosed with cancer back in 1996, and that brought me to my knees. What now, Lord? What should I do? What can I do? It brought me to my knees trembling. And at the same time, we'd had Wayne Muller in there, who had founded Bread for the Journey, as a guest speaker. And he'd written a book, How Then Should We Live? And oversimplification, How Then Should We Live is about how then should we live knowing we're going to die. Well, I knew I was going to die. How then should we live knowing we're going to die? Do what you enjoy doing and do it for the glory of God. So I moved to Montana in 1998, kept in touch with Wayne Muller. And it's a long story, but I never went back to an allopathic doctor. I didn't want to hear that they wanted to operate and all that sort of thing. So I prayed a lot. And, of course, I was in touch with Andy Weil. I was on herbs and all that. And I was teaching a horse to pull a sleigh. That was in the year 2000. Left rein broke. The horse went around abruptly to the right, catapulted me to the ground, broke some ribs. You break ribs when you're training a horse. That's part of the show. But I had some blood in the urine. I said, oh, my gosh, what's going on here? Went in for the checks, MRI, scope, X-ray. It was just a bruised kidney, but the big thing was there was no tumors. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, Lucky. And
no doubt.
So, like I say, I kept in touch with Wayne Muller and ended up, he set it up where some people pledged so much a mile to feed the hungry children, and I sold it. Well, I couldn't sell, gave away and gave the money to Bread for the Journey to feed the hungry children, and rode out June the 16th of 2002. Rode from Shota, Montana to Washington, D.C. by way of California. First I tied in with Bread for the Journey, and then with Bread for the World in their home office in Washington, D.C., so I had to ride there. Spent 3 months in Crawford, Texas, because Chief Free Spirit and Keep the Faith, my stallion and my mare, had conceived Hope, a filly in Montana. We stopped, and Hope was born of all places in Crawford, Texas. We were just 7 miles from George Bush's ranch. I was the first resident of the Crawford Peace House. We put out signs, "War's not the answer," and we tried to give Hope to George, but well, you had to have $100,000 or more to get there, so we weren't able to do that. So I rode on Pony and Hope and left Hope in Poplarville, Mississippi with a nice lady named Leilani, and rode to Washington, D.C., rode into there September 23rd, 2004. All this is on Google. If you Google Doc Mishler, it's all down there with a lot of stories.
Tell them about Washington.
In Washington, D.C., I was able to address the agriculture, because they set it up through Bread for the World, the Agriculture Committee, about feeding the hungry children. There are programs to feed the hungry children, but they're not being funded. The money's going out there to kill people in Iraq and all that sort of thing. But anyway, Bread for the World wanted to line it up where I had speaking engagements across the country and all that sort of thing. Each day come what may, wait upon the Lord and pray, go ahead and make my day. Wouldn't work on a schedule. As a matter of fact, I rode across the Golden Gate Bridge January 1st, 2013, and I got the next day in downtown San Francisco, I got Gmail from Catherine Chow with a TV station. She said, "What's your schedule? We hear you're going to ride across the Golden Gate Bridge." I wrote back, I said, "No schedule. Each day come what may, wait upon the Lord and pray, go ahead and make my day." Perhaps if you could live that way, you could report the news on when it happens rather than on schedule. Rode across the Golden Gate Bridge yesterday.
How about that? How about that? All right, let me take a short break. We'll have more in just a moment. Stay with us here on Let's Talk Antique, special day today. Also, you can watch the program at 6 p.m. tonight, also 9 p.m. on Friday and 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon on Charter Cable Channel 193 through PED Productions.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
Shelton Lane Antiques in Manchester has over 5,000 square feet of antiques for treasure hunters to explore. They sell vintage clocks, gas pumps, signs, furniture, and glassware. They have over 3,000 vinyl records and a fully stocked 1950-style general store. Owners Harold and Ruby Shelton have been collecting unique items for years, and you can start or complete your own collection today at Shelton Lane Antiques. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 100 Shelton Lane, just off 16th Model Road in Manchester, Tennessee. Come look around and plan to stay a while at Shelton Lane Antiques, where we sell antiques, but the history is free.
We are Goody Two Scoops.
I love Goody Two Scoops.
A family-friendly, yummy dessert specialty shop in Tullahoma, Tennessee. We excel in self-serve frozen treats and our own incredibly tasty chef-baked creations. For frozen treat lovers, we offer frozen yogurt, ice cream custard, as well as gelato and Italian ice. 85 flavors that rotate each day. 55 toppings including fresh sliced fruit. For our baked good lovers, Goody Two Scoops offers a variety of fresh pastries at a hometown price. Our 2 certified culinary chefs design and create incredible cakes. We showcase our cakes, froyo cakes, cupcakes, cookies, pies, and chocolate-covered strawberries, offered fresh daily.
I love playing.
Goody Two Scoops.
8:24 your time as we continue now on Let's Talk Antiques. And I wanted to ask you a question, Dave, our guest again. Let's reintroduce him.
Doc Mishler,
All right, Mishler, Doc Mishler, and
member of the Long Riders Guild.
Long Riders
Did
Guild.
I get that right, Doc?
Yeah, you're right, Lord.
All
That's
right.
good. But I'm just an antique, so I feel real comfortable.
That's
here.
okay.
Just an
Well,
old
that,
antique.
that's kind of the name of our show. Let's talk antiques. So
I'm just an old antique.
Doc, question was asked a moment ago off air that you're riding along there, and the horse is going to get hungry, and what do you do?
The horses are hungry all the time. Lucky.
Okay,
And
all right.
exactly, I get that question all across the land. I was in Texas there in a church lot, and the horses had nice green grass, and they're eating good. And lady comes along, she says, "Your horses need hay." Oh, I said, "Well, ma'am, see that's where hay comes from, right there." She said, "They need grain." I said, yeah, you're right, they do. I said, "See how that's topped out there? That's where grain comes from." She went 30 miles, got a bale of hay, set it down there. The horses sniffed it, went over and ate the grass. Many people believe that the eggs come from the store.
That's
and if you
true.
don't go to the feed store, you ain't going to be able to feed your horse. I got the best pasture in the world across the land. Now, if you don't have good pasture, don't get a horse.
Yeah.
Because that's what they need. In the wild, the horse will travel as much as 20 miles a day to pick out what weed it needs. The horse knows.
The horse knows.
The horse knows. Matter of fact, I'm riding through the Navajo Nation, northern Arizona, southern Utah. No rain for 2.5 years. And I couldn't find any water. But I put the reins on Chief Free Spirit's saddle horn. I said, "We need water." And he take me to the water. He knows. He's got the age where he thinks he knows more than I do. Oftentimes he does. But I've got the best pasture in the world. Praise the Lord. I like to say, did I mention that they wanted Neutrino wanted to give me all the nutrition my horses need, all meet the reps and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay.
And I said, "Oh, gee, thank you very much. I appreciate that." I said, "But number one, I don't have a cell phone. Number two, I don't plan on getting one. Number three, if I told people my horses do very well on what the Lord provides, I wouldn't sell any grain for you, would I?"
Now tell them your routine about like your ride.
Yeah, I ride. Yeah, that's true. If you don't take care of your horses, and I've been there, I've been on the high desert, and I had to rest them up for. I don't do that no more. I ride for about an hour and a half, and then I let my horses graze for 20, 30 minutes and ride on. And I only ride about 4 or 5 hours a day. If you don't take care of your horses, you ain't going anywhere. Now, these horses are not show horses. And there's a big difference between show horses and go horses. These are working horses. They're long and lean and mean, kind of like me.
Now, each day you'll ride for about 4 hours, you say?
4 to 5.
4 to 5 hours.
And each day stands on its own, Lucky. It depends on the weather. Depends how the horses are feeling. The man asked me, "How long will it take you to get from here to here?" I said, "You have to talk to horses about that. All I do is ride."
But also, it depends on how many people you stop.
Oh,
and talk to.
I like people. I like people. And my journey is about feeding the hungry children, and you got to go where the people are.
Yeah.
To get on that, I have a letter of commitment, which, a journey without a purpose is meaningless. And so there are children in the world that are so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the form of food. Now, people know that there are hungry children in the world. How will you feed them? We have the money, Lucky.
Oh, we got the money.
We have the money.
I'll agree with that.
It's not the way that's lacking, it's the will. Yeah. And we can feed every starving child in the world. I believe this Pope wants to be the change we all want to see on earth. Be the change you want to see on earth. Jesus. And Jesus could not keep the Vatican and sell the Vatican and give the money to the poor. It will happen. It's prophesied. Every child in this world, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I lost track of what the heck your question was.
You're good.
But here's the thing too. Like
bring
when
me back. When I
went up
this
to
is
the
a passion with me. Feeding
That's all right.
children.
That's all right.
When I went up to the restaurant to see him, his horses are out back, not tied up. He just the daughter was tied up to the daddy.
Yeah.
And just with the rope, and they was just standing at the back of the library, eating grass.
Sure.
That's a good example.
Sure.
They're eating while he's eating.
Yeah, the horses eat before I eat.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of your horses, you ain't going anywhere. So that's God first, horses second, me third.
All right, big question here. We talked about the horses and how they eat and survive out on the road. You're not. This is not a job.
Lucky,
So-
each day, come what may, wait upon the Lord and pray, go ahead and make my day. And I thank God I can live that way. Each day is a new adventure.
So
God,
you hadn't
God
went
has a
hungry.
plan. God
hadn't
has,
went
I've
hungry,
never
have you, Doc?
gone hungry. I don't even know what hungry is. We have so much here in the United States. We're truly blessed. God has given us everything we need. Unfortunately, a lot of times we're covered over with a parking lot. There was a song about that sometime, wasn't there? God provides us everything
Well,
we need. But
another-
it's so much out there, land of plenty.
Another question that a lot of people ask you is, how does those horses, when they're walking on that asphalt, what keeps them from slipping? So you need
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
I know that question
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
asked a
that's a
lot.
big
Oh, I
one.
bet,
That's-
yeah.
So
that's a
tell
big-
them that.
The Amish, they use their horses, their buggy horses on the road all the time. They have shoes that have drill tech on them, and drill tech is carbide chips brazed on with copper alloy. And I use those type of shoes. I rode downtown San Francisco. That was January 2nd, 2013. And Telegraph Hill, I was glad I had them shoes on there. Sometimes they tear up the pavement, but the horse don't slip. And I've got some shoes last a whole year, because naturally I reset them. But regular flats, if you're on the pavement constantly, regular flats without the drill tech on them, they're paper thin within 10 days to 2 weeks.
Now,
But these shoes, they're Amish shoes.
Yeah.
Now tell them also, questions asked, how often do you have to set those shoes?
Each horse is an individual, like our fingernails. Some fingernails grow faster than others. Chief Reesebeer about every 12 weeks after we set them. Charities grow faster about every 10 weeks. And of course, I just got a new horse. Her name is Ride On Green Eyes. She's a full-blooded Tennessee Walker, and she's a beauty. She's a champagne color, but she's got green eyes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and I made up a song about her. If you're, tis true.
I know you don't. I know you don't communicate via the cell phone.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, but I do have a message here,
Oh.
and this is from Miss Nancy,
Yes, Nancy. Yes.
and she asked me to ask you your age.
Yeah, I'll be 39 for the 40th time, May the
39 for the 40th time.
Yeah, 39 for the 40th time.
I gotta remember that.
I'm going to tell you, I was 39 for the second time, and the second time is much more fun than the
Really?
first time.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to being 18 again
Well, how about
for the
that?
second time.
All right. Well, we'll take a break on that and come back with more in a moment.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
Shelton Lane Antiques in Manchester has over 5,000 square feet of antiques for treasure hunters to explore. They sell vintage clocks, gas pumps, signs, furniture, and glassware. They have over 3,000 vinyl records and a fully stocked 1950-style general store. Owners Harold and Ruby Shelton have been collecting unique items for years, and you can start or complete your own collection today at Shelton Lane Antiques. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 100 Shelton Lane, just off 16th Model Road in Manchester, Tennessee. Come look around and plan to stay a while at Shelton Lane Antiques, where we sell antiques, but the history is free.
We are Goody Two Scoops.
I love Goody Two Scoops.
a family-friendly, yummy dessert specialty shop in Tullahoma, Tennessee. We excel in self-serve frozen treats and our own incredibly tasty chef-baked creations. For frozen treat lovers, we offer frozen yogurt, ice cream custard, as well as gelato and Italian ice. 85 flavors that rotate each day. 55 toppings including fresh sliced fruit. For our baked good lovers, Goody Two Scoops offers a variety of fresh pastries at a hometown price. Our 2 certified culinary chefs design and create incredible cakes. We showcase our cakes, froyo cakes, cupcakes, cookies, pies, and chocolate-covered strawberries, offered fresh daily.
Love fighting.
Goody Two Scoops.
Hey, back live here on Let's Talk Antiques, and remember you can watch the program tonight at 6, 9 p.m. on Fridays and 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoons on Charter Cable 193. P-Head Productions puts that on. And Dave,
All right,
Doc's still
Doc,
with us, so we're
yeah.
going to keep on talking.
Doc, I want you to tell the story about the motel that you stayed at and remember the motel owner.
I'm riding through Dallas, Texas, and had a lot of fun in Dallas. I met my daughter-in-law there and all this stuff, but I'm headed south out of Dallas, and South Dallas there is a rough area. I remember going along there, and this one guy ahead of me, I said, "How you doing, partner?" He says, "I'd be all right if my daddy'd leave me alone." I said, "Oh, okay, I understand." I rode on, and I come to the Windway Motel. Time to camp, time to find a place to camp. Windway Motel. Rode around it there, and they got a nice grassy area in the back there, and I noticed a lot of people sleeping on the ground, just a lot of homeless people around. Oh, well, that's nice. I'm a kind of a homeless guy myself. Just riding across. I must be riding home, so I pulled up the Windway Motel, and there's Henry there. He's the manager. He's from India, and nice guy, and he said it'd be cash only, $45, and he says, "You sure you want to stay? This is a rough area, a lot of meth around here and all that." And he said, I said, "Well, you got a nice grassy area back there. We'll give it a shot. I've stayed a lot across the country, and long rider and all that sort of thing." And so anyway, I gave him the $45 cash, and then I met Willie, I think it was. And he watches things, so I give him the $10, kind of watch my horses, tether my horses out. And a lot of people around, but during the night, knocking on the door and all that, get their fix. Oh my goodness gracious! Next morning, people gathered around. I pulled the horses up there, and a lot of children, and their eyes light. I find my joy lucky, and other people, the eyes of the children light up, their smiles and all that sort of thing, and talking about. And as many a child has never touched a horse, let alone rode a horse.
It's true.
Down inner cities, and they're so big, and so I even set someone on the horse, and Henry comes over and said, Doc, he says, "This is a once in a lifetime. We'll never have another horse come through here, a horse rider." It brought all the people together, and I was able to talk to some. Why, gosh, if you can ride a horse across the country, I don't need these drugs. And it just was a wonderful witness time, and Henry was so delighted to have me. And of course, I got Facebook, and he didn't take pictures, and ended up. And a lot of people wrote in saying, "Oh, the Windway Motel is famous now," and all that. Here it's nice people. Everywhere I go, the people want to give, the people want to help, the people want to feed the hungry children. And
you really made a difference with a lot of people. I mean, if you changed one person's life about the drugs, that was worth the stay, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And by the way, the man gave you money back to you, didn't he?
Yeah, he gave me. He
didn't even charge you.
He didn't want. He couldn't. He didn't want to charge me for such a wonderful experience of having the horses.
So
I brought him a 2-horse mower with built-in fertilizer tank.
Oh, okay. We got a call, Doc. So you're gonna have to use my headphones.
Oh, I'll try it there.
Ray, you might want to be listening.
Hello there.
Hey, J.I.
Yeah. I thought that was Tex Ritter when I heard Doc on there this morning.
Like him. I don't know if that's good or bad. I didn't know Tex Ritter, but I heard the name somewhere.
But, I think we need to get somebody to sing a birthday song there for Sunday for certain people.
Oh, somebody having a birthday?
Yeah, is having a birthday.
Who, Dave?
Yeah, I think the ex-mayor's having his birthday.
Well, he turned what? How old? Do you know?
I say probably about 70.
75, 78,
Yeah,
87, 99.
He probably won't tell us how old he is.
Yeah, he will. How old
Oh,
you?
he will?
How old
I'll
are
be
you?
65 here April the 19th, which is rocking up.
All right.
Oh, you're
April
Social
19th.
Security then.
That's not far away.
Yep, he's
right
drawing
after
that
income
check.
tax.
He's drawing that check because
Right
he can't
after
get no
income
government
tax,
money
Doc.
on a regular basis, so he has to get it once a month now.
Well, say him happy birthday, son.
All right.
Happy birthday to you.
Dave,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
Well, thank
Early
you.
birthday.
Now,
Early birthday.
Doc, you can take those headphones off.
Oh,
and
good.
Tell the
I
story.
can't hear what the thing, so thank you.
Tell the story about Kelly LeBrock.
Well, I was coming California there. See, I rode went to ride into Santa Barbara and all that sort of thing. But I was up in the mountain in the Sierra Nevada there, and actually it all started when I was up at Carmel by the Sea. That's where Clint Eastwood was mayor for a year, as you know, and I'd met Kathy Rogers. Kathy Rogers is wife to the prosecutor in the county there, and then Kathy Rogers introduced me to Hillary Saltzman and Kelly LeBrock. Kathy Rogers, Hillary Saltzman, Kelly LeBrock graduated from high school in London, England together. And so they lined up my journey all along the California coast there. And I ended up staying back in the Sierra Nevadas with Kelly LeBrock a couple nights or so. And Kelly at that time had 42 horses. She'd gone to the horses. Steven Seagal was her ex-husband. And Kelly wrote a poem about the messenger from Montana, and I always cherished that. But after Kelly's a very nice lady. She was Lady in Red movie and all that sort of thing. But we had some good. She likes sushi, and we had some good times. And just a nice lady.
I guess we got time for you to tell another story or two about where.
See,
we got a
after,
couple of minutes.
after Kelly LeBrock, I rode up over Gibraltar Road to get into Santa Barbara. And up over Gibraltar Road, there's Mount Calvary. And Mount Calvary, I rode into there because it's coming dark. And I found out later Episcopalian retreat. But I didn't know that at the time, and there seemed to be nobody around. And I knocked on the door to the church and everything, and I finally, Brother Robert came out. He said, "Nobody here." He says, "They're on a sabbatical and all." And I said, "Well, okay." He said, I need a place to camp because it's coming on dark. I'm a long range, you know. And he said, no. He said, "Down there." He says, "There's another place down there. You probably should go down there." I said, "Well, gee, by the time I got there, it'd be so dark." And then I noticed Brother Henry come out, and there's Brother William, and seem to be coming out of the woodwork there, and they're all scared of the horses. I noticed that, and we got talking. And he said, "No, down there." I said, "Gee, what I'm hearing from you guys is no room in the inn." And all of a sudden, that changed everything. They gave me a sandwich and brought some water from the horses, and it couldn't be any better. You know, I said, "I need a place to camp." They said, "Up there, there's three crosses, a lot of grass up there, $1 million view of Santa Barbara." I said, "Well, gee, that's." They gave me a flashlight. I didn't need a flashlight, but I went up there anyway and laid out my bedroll at the middle of the middle cross, the highest cross there, and tethered out my horses and everything. And it was $1 billion view of Santa Barbara. I was so blessed to be there.
So you slept at the foot of the cross.
At the foot of the cross there, you know.
That's pretty cool.
And the next day, I came down after I packing everything up, and there was nobody there, and so I left the flashlight at the door. This is 2002, and I'm at, let's fast forward 2007, 2008 it was. I was at the Bruderhof, upstate New York. Brother Robert come to visit. Of all things, a small world. Brother Robert says to me, he says, "We should have put you up, Doc." I said, "Well, no, I had $1 billion view of Santa Barbara. It's beautiful. Matter of fact, I'm going to write a book, Living in a Saddle, Sleeping to the Foot of the Cross." Very inspirational there. He said, No, Doc, the place burned down less than 2 weeks after you were there.
Well, how about that?
You know, he has a two-man tent, so actually he really does camp.
I do quite a bit of camping
Yeah.
out. I have the opportunity to do that. In the solitude of the campsite, I'm confronted only by God, and my faith becomes more and more internalized.
How long have you been doing this program of trying to help the hungry children?
Well, originally I started from Shoto, Montana.
Okay.
2002.
What year was- yeah.
That was June the 16th of 2002. But of course, I rode from Shoto, Montana to Washington, D.C. by way of California. Once I got there, I was in Potomac Hunt, fox hunting in Maryland, and of course training horses. Stayed there for
About 13 years.
we started. We started. We started turning farms. Got bored with that. Stayed there for 3 years, and then rode upstate New York. Stayed there for 3 years. So I haven't been riding all this time. They shipped my horse to Florida, and I rode out of there March 14, 2011. I've been riding since then.
Now, but one thing that I don't think we mentioned it. Your male horse is 18 years old, and he's got 19,000 miles on him.
Yeah,
so,
Chief Free Spirit.
So you've been riding quite a bit if you put 19,000 miles on a horse.
Free Spirit, I estimate he's got over 19,000 miles. He just turned 18 March 24th. I was there 18 years ago and helped him up in Nipple. He's my buddy. As I say, he was a stud up until 5 years ago. March bred a lot of mares across the land, and so I've got his daughter Charity. She's out of an Appaloosa mare, so she's a Wakalusa.
She's beautiful.
Each one has a different ride, right? It's a father-son and father-daughter affair. Before that, I had father, son, and daughter. Chief Free Spirit's son, Justice, died by Pawnee Pass in Colorado.
He was not hardly 8 years old, and you said his mama died at about 8 years old.
His mama keeps the face. She died upstate New York. The address and letter I give out. She died when she was right at 8 years old, and died of an aneurysm. Now, I don't know what Justice died of, but he wasn't quite 8 years old yet.
How about that? All right, let me take a break here, and we'll come back with more on Let's Talk Antiques in just a moment.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
Shelton Lane Antiques in Manchester has over 5,000 square feet of antiques for treasure hunters to explore. They sell vintage clocks, gas pumps, signs, furniture, and glassware. They have over 3,000 vinyl records and a fully stocked 1950s-style general store. Owners Harold and Ruby Shelton have been collecting unique items for years, and you can start or complete your own collection today at Shelton Lane Antiques. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 100 Shelton Lane, just off 16th Model Road in Manchester, Tennessee. Come look around and plan to stay a while at Shelton Lane Antiques, where we sell antiques, but the history is free.
We are Goody Two Scoops,
I love Goody Two Scoops.
a family-friendly, yummy dessert specialty shop in Tullahoma, Tennessee. We excel in self-serve frozen treats and our own incredibly tasty chef-baked creations. For frozen treat lovers, we offer frozen yogurt, ice cream custard, as well as gelato and Italian ice. 85 flavors that rotate each day. 55 toppings including fresh sliced fruit. For our baked good lovers, Goody Two Scoops offers a variety of fresh pastries at a hometown price. Our 2 certified culinary chefs design and create incredible cakes. We showcase our cakes, froyo cakes, cupcakes, cookies, pies, and chocolate-covered strawberries, offered fresh daily.
Love for you.
Goody 2 Scoops.
Back live here on the program as we continue now, and Dave, we're going to talk about maybe vintage saddles.
Yeah, in just a minute. We've got one little quick story.
Okay.
He's got an Attorney General's coin in his hand. And remember where he said the horse passed away, the son?
Yeah, Justice died up there in the Pawnee Pass. In that area up there, Dave, which I didn't know. I've camped BLM Lamacast National Parks, and it's all legal and all that sort of, but they have an area there up by Pawnee Pass that's only open to hiking and no horses allowed and all that sort of thing. Anyway, it's a wilderness preserve, all things. Mm-hmm. So I camped up there and everything, and the ranger up there, he could have taken me for $3,000 or more, you know. And I made a mistake. I goofed up. Should have read the signs. It's my fault. I agree. So he made it $225, and
it's federal.
So I got federal land and all that sort of thing. So I rode into Denver to the federal building. And as I rode up there, people came out, of course. They don't see horses nowadays. 100 years ago, a horse carried man all over this country. But now it seems like man carries horse all over this country. They got more miles in the trailer. Anyway, people came out. I remember Susan. She said, and I said, "Look, I need a Nolly Pross. I need to see a prosecutor. I got this ticket I showed it to her, and it's a federal offense and all that stuff." And she says, "I'm gonna line it up for you." I said, "I'll go over there and have breakfast." And so and anyway, I went over across the street there and had breakfast, tied up the horse and all that sort of thing. And this young man,
it's downtown Denver.
Downtown Denver, and the man comes over there. He says, "I'm a prosecutor, such." He says, well, let's go to my office. So I rode to his office, and I got to meet some wonderful people with the Attorney General's office there, and make a long story short, they had their picture taken. His boss had cowboy boots, always wanted to be a cowboy. and we had a nice talk, and he says, "You shouldn't be charged." And they got in touch with the ranger, and they set it up where got a Nolly Pross out of it, and they gave me a memento, U.S. Attorney General office. It ain't worth any money, they tell me, but I always remember meeting those nice people. They
basically dismissed the case.
Yeah, they set it up for a court.
What does it say on the back of the coin?
It says, read this. Proudly serving the citizens of the District of Colorado, the U.S. Attorney. Colorado, Attorney General.
The folks on the radio that don't see this gentleman, Sam Elliott Jr. is what I'm calling him.
I'm a senior because he's younger than I am.
I thought he was
and he's got more hair on his chest.
I thought he was older than you.
No, I think he's 60.
Well, you're just 39.
Yeah, well, that's right. He's 86. Come think about it, if you put it backward. Or 96, somewhere. Yeah, by gosh, you're right.
See?
I get all confused.
Yeah, you're just 39.
Yeah, just 39 for the second time.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, I had a question here that says, what's your next place you're trying to get to?
Lucky, if it be God's will, and I know God's always willing, we just have to do it. If it be God's will, I'd like to be in Rolling Prairie, Indiana, which is just 60 miles east of Chicago. In Indiana, of course. My baby sister's got her birthday coming up June 13th. So it'd be nice to be there for her birthday.
Yeah, it would be nice, yeah.
Well, you're going to do that, I'm sure. I bet it happens.
Well, nothing is, if it be, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it'll happen.
I think nothing is, we got this day, hallelujah.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, Lucky, let's see. Maybe he can relate to some of these vintage saddles that sold on eBay here.
All right,
I have a vintage saddle.
Yeah.
One is called a Keystone Roping Ranch Saddle. Mm-hmm. Okay, now what is? Tell the folks about that.
Well, I can't see your picture here, but there's a lot of. I had a Billy Royal. If you got, and I left that in Colorado because I traded it for a high back saddle that was made in Pueblo, Colorado by.
How much
Max salary? That'd be an old one there. But
how much was that little saddle that you was talking about, Lucky?
$2,200.
That's what it brought.
$2,200.
That's not very vintage. I see them worth a lot more than that. Now, Billy Royal, for example, there in Mississippi, Stone County, Mississippi. I seen one. It was a nice saddle. He had $4,000.
Yeah.
$4,000 for a saddle.
Yeah, just for the
Yeah,
saddle.
but that's-
The people collect it, and I've stayed some places where they collect saddles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Parade saddles, some of those fancy parade saddles could be $50,000 lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Ted
Oh, yeah.
Flowers saddle.
I'm
No,
not familiar.
Okay, vintage 1960s, $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
4,000 for that one.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them around $1,200.
What about that cavalry saddle? Do you see one of those?
Let me see.
It'll have a big gap in the center of it.
I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, there's. Let me go a step over here with you. Scroll down. Keep going.
Let's see here.
Hang on just a minute. You'll get one. Right there's one.
Okay, $749.
Keep going.
Now, what type of saddle do you have?
My saddle was made in Pueblo, Colorado, and it's by the Max Saddlery. And I don't know how old it is, but I know it's all leather, and I know it's got a high back, and I know it fits my skinny butt. And the guy that had it, he had it on a rail there, and I had an old Billy Royal, and the Billy Royal had been worn quite a bit. I think I'd had it 50 years or more. Anyway, I said, my saddle would gather dust just as well as that high back. Always wondered why. He said, you take that because it won't fit my big butt anyway. And so that's how I got my saddle.
Well, you got to have one that's going to fit you right.
Yeah.
And you're right
that's
always.
When you're riding like I do, that's important. That's true. That's
got to be comfortable.
And most important, Lucky, is to have a slick back. When you got some of these that got that felt there, and that'll grab your butt, and that'll cause blisters. You want it to be slick. I remember riding in the Bob there. I took people in there for hunting elk and all that sort. But this is day riding. This one lady saying to her boyfriend, she says, my butt's sore. I'm riding all day like this. And he says, yeah, I think I got some blisters. And she said, doesn't seem to be bothering Doc there. And he says, yeah, I think Doc's got a leather butt.
Well, that's going to kind of wrap up the program for today. Dave, appreciate you bringing Doc in and letting him be a part of the program. Done interviews like this before?
Yes.
Have you? I bet you have.
And you know what, Lucky? I find it to be a lot of fun because there's a lot of people out there, well, as I say, my journey has renewed my faith in the human race. People want to give, people want to help, people want to feed the hungry children. Of course, that's what my journey is about. And I appreciate the opportunity to get the word out that we have the money to feed every starving child in the world. It's not the way that is lacking, it's the will. And it must come, if we're going to do it, must come from the bottom up, not from the top down. But yet this Pope wants to be the change we all see on earth, want to all see on earth, Jesus. And Jesus could not keep the Vatican and not sell it and give the money to the poor. Neither could Francis of Assisi. Now, Francis of Assisi might give it to all the animals, but that's better than keeping it.
You got to convert the heart before you get anywhere.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, we're out of here, ain't we?
Yep, we're out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yep.